I want to put you in the hot seat a little bit, Chicago, and then I'm going to put Torment in the hot seat. All right, because we haven't spoken to you since first split, since the major. I guess what you've spoken a little bit about your team right now, not playing how you guys want to be or how you guys want to play. I guess is there any public reasons for that, or is it more just like you lost your style and like what are you guys sort of working on now to get back to it?
To be honest, I think a big problem was like when we picked up Atomic and basically say for the last like first 6 months, also in like the first year, the first 6-7 months, we kind of like felt like every scrim we wanted to improve just because like we wanted to learn how to play with Atomic and like so we figured out every scrim or after every game we talked about something that we could improve or what we liked, and so I felt like every day we just felt like we were getting better, and then the next 6 months. And it was like a team thing. It's not like on one person. Like I had some terrible days, it just happens to everyone. But those days weren't really there. It was kind of just show up in like bad attitude, bad mental. We're just going about scrims, not really focused on anything. And I think recently we've been really trying to do that. And I felt the improvement, to be honest. So it feels like we're trying to get to ourselves. And obviously it's not gonna happen overnight, so we're working towards that. But it was just been bad, bad work habits, so we don't really have anyone else to blame but ourselves. But we're working. We've realized it, and we've like had honest talks as a team, and we're trying to get better, learn from it, and try and just limit it so it never happens again if possible.
I've probably found like Chrome would probably agree. It's sometimes you get so complacent, and it doesn't. You sort of don't, I guess, snap onto the fact that you're probably not improving, or you might be regressing or staying at the same level, and then it takes that like one bad loss. And probably for you guys, it was probably that power one that's like, okay, we need to fix something here. Like, this is, it's almost like you just get those the flashing lights, like, well, okay, something's seriously wrong. Like, we have not been switched on. Is that kind of what it was for you guys? Was it the power loss that kind of like rang the alarm bells?
Cheeky of you, CJ.
Yeah, we used to never have losses like that, where like we're just not competitive. And that power, like Gen G was the first one in that. We had one kind of versus FaZe in the first regional, and then we had one Gen G in the third regional, and then the power one was for sure like the most eye-opening, and it causes like it causes a lot of like inner observations to figure out what's going on. But to be honest, like we don't always figure it out. It's not just like, oh yeah, let's just do this and it works. Like it's been a lot of like experimenting and trying to figure out stuff, as well as because like it might not just be meta anymore, so how can we turn what we know and add stuff that might be working nowadays and try and figure it out, because we all want to do well. It's all in us still. It's not like anyone's not putting in the effort or wants to win. It's just it's become really tough to balance with the new meta, as well as just us putting in the work that's necessary.
That's facts. Well, like that's the end of my interrogate. Jarzo, do you have anything as the G2 colloquial custodian for him?
I mean, it's something that's happened a lot over the years. It's like a lot of periods, like as a duo, especially just Reed and Jake, they'll have periods where like they're really good, and then they'll kind of like they'll start coasting because there's no one to challenge them. Like it happened after season 7 when we kind of slumped after Montreal, especially like DreamHack Montreal into season 8, where we kind of relegated. That was kind of same kind of deal where we were just sitting on our laurels and just not improving and not talking. And then it took like a really big wake up call and a big dedicated boot camp to really get back to the grind. So I'm not surprised that it's happened. I do wish by now that it would be something that is avoidable, and it sounds like they're like really trying to make it not happen again. But it is important to realize that it probably can't happen again. It's something I recognize has definitely happened in the past couple times. So it's not unexpected for me, and I know they'll bounce back pretty heavy.
I think it's the hardest thing for teams that are established to, I guess, not get into the, clock in, clock out sort of mindset. Like sort of, even Jack talked about it with Gen G, like it just makes scrims, like when you have a new team or just bringing in a new player, like it screams like it's fun because you're learning how your new teammates sort of operate, and it's like it's almost that rejuvenation of energy. So I think new teams always have the advantage inherently in terms of just that like appetite to practice and learn and want to scrim, and something that the older teams we're probably seeing more and more, like these teams just making like one roster move and then they're like peaking again. and it might just be that mental thing. So I don't know. Do
Sure.
you sort of see that? Would you agree that with Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like that's a very good point. Uh, it's really like, I mean, for example, um, us like BDS, Energy, like, and then I wouldn't say like V1 or FaZe because FaZe is newer. V1's been a team for like over a year, but like V1 only had one bad result recently, like the 9th through 12th, which isn't them. Like they're usually consistently always top 8 or above. But you definitely see like the newer teams not fall out as quickly as the older teams. I think it's just because like when you're a new team, you try and establish like a play style that makes everyone like the best on the team as possible. And like I think we kind of forgot that and became like lazy. And like if you look at Energy or like KC, like not Energy, sorry, Genji or KC, like all those players are getting hyped up to the max right now because they're all making each other better. And like that, you just don't see that like with teams that happen, have been together for 2-3 years, like Energy, like even if they're doing well, someone's gonna get the blame. Squishy's gonna get the blame. So it's
Mm.
just like super hard to find that middle ground of finding like trying to make everyone play their best as possible, and like that's what every team works for. So it's definitely easier to do that when you're a newer team compared to an old team.